Hello, welcome to my first video tutorial in regards to Gimp 2.0, using an older version because the newer version will not allow a lot of my extensions to go all the way through. I'm making this specific tutorial for a buddy of mine who's just now getting involved with Gimp and with photo manipulation, and he needs a little bit more information on the layers dialog. So I'm going to be emphasizing quite a bit about the layers as I go. Now, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I've gotten fairly good at it, and I'm quick with quick keys. They're just keyboard shortcuts, so I'm going to try and remind myself to use those throughout this tutorial. Alright, let's get started. I've already brought up my Gimp. It's already completely loaded. The very first thing that I do whenever my Gimp loads up is I click on the Move tool, and by default it says pick your layer. I automatically select the Move Active layer. Now, whenever you do actually have your layers over here, it's whichever one that you're actually working on will be the one that gets moved. Alright, let's go ahead and start an image in here. There we go. And let's go ahead and open up, actually we didn't want that one, did we? We want this one. There we go. Okay, now this is a standard JPEG, excuse me, and with it there is no alpha channel. That means there's no background. If I go over here and select the eraser tool and select one of these and I go through and I erase something, as you see it's white behind it. Now I'm going to use Control Z again and it goes backwards, it undoes. Now if I select this background and I Control C, which copies it, copies to clipboard, Control V, it makes a floating selection. This floating selection, to paste your layer, all you have to do is create a new layer on top of it, because this is just an in-between layer. We can click right here, which is our Create New Layer tab, and voila, now we have a pasted layer. Now, to avoid any confusion, as you see here, these look identical. You can turn them off and turn them on as far as visibility. I'm going to go ahead and delete my background so that there's nothing there. Now, once again, I come over to the eraser tool and I erase something through, and now you see there's actually transparency behind it. This is actually what you want with photo manipulation. Once again, Control Z, going backwards. Now, let's go ahead and cut this leaf out. How would we do that? Well, there's a number of different ways. Just like with the eraser tool, I can go through here and ever so slightly around the edges, and I can do that. Or I can use this magic wand right here, fuzzy selection tool, and that it tells you right here, it's going to select continuous region based upon the color. We can select just the white area and press the delete key on the keyboard, and as you see, it deleted it. Then we can unselect all, and you'll see it leaves this white line around it. I don't like that. So let's go backwards a little bit. Unselect everything, which is Control Shift and A, or you can actually come up here to one of these. I've done it forever, and you can unselect from up there in your menus. Okay, now back to over here. We want to get rid of this white. Like I said, we can select by color. You can select by continuous color. You can select by region. The reason why it cut it in half the way it did is because this leaf is actually touching that leaf. Okay. How I prefer to do it. I prefer layer masking. Layer masking is this little guy right here, and there's also another one. But if you layer mask, it puts a red image over it, and now you can actually use your paintbrush. Now layer masking works in two different ways. Black means left alone, white means you're cutting away. So we can go through and just, let's do this right here, and then we turn the layer mask off, and you'll see that there's now a selection. Pressing the delete key, voila, it's gone. Now here's another way. Let's go backwards, and now we're going to, let's see, select none. It's just Control Shift A. Now there's another quicker way that I've found, and I'm actually working on getting it done a little faster and faster. So we take our pasted layer, we're going to copy that layer. See, now we have a copied layer. Select the top layer. Here's how this works, by the way, as far as layering. That's what I was supposed to tell you about the layering. Say like on this one, I go through and I go through and I deleted it, right? I deleted some section. That's my top layer, right? As long as both of these are visible, you're going to see them through each other. Say like if I make a new layer and I want to make it the background color, which is going to be black, you'll see it's automatically at the top. If you move your down arrows, it puts it at the bottom. So we've got our top layer that actually has some cutout. You can't see it because the middle layer is the exact same image, but if we undo it, we'll actually see all the way through to the bottom layer. You see how the layers work? And there's no layer. Okay, now, so we wanted to merge these together. For whatever reason, we like the way this looks. Let's go ahead and get rid of that one. We like the way that looks for whatever reason. We can actually merge the layers. There's an option up here, but I've gotten used to just pressing Control and M, and it brings up your merge layers. You can expand as necessary. Say one layer's beyond your actual image. You can clip to the actual image, or you can clip to the bottom layer, which is usually your default size layer. And then you would select whichever one you want, and you would select merge, and that would make them all one image. You see here? Now it's all together. I don't want that, so let's just not save that. Let's start from scratch again. Now I'm going to show you once again the quickest way to cut this out, and it works great with images that have hair or is very difficult to get around. We're going to take this one, the very first one that we do, we're going to Control C and we're going to Control V, make it a new layer. That adds the transparency to it. Get rid of our other layer. Take this one, we're going to copy it again. We're going to take the top one because we're going to use this one as a layer mask. Layer mask, remember, it only works in black and white. We're going to go to colors. We're going to invert that color. Go back to colors and click on threshold. Ta-da, it is now a black and white. I don't even have to adjust this. You can, if there's hair, you can. Okay, we got that black and white image. We like that one. Let's go over here to our pasted layer, select it. We're gonna right click and we're gonna apply a layer mask. This keeps popping over here. We wanna leave this on full opacity, full white opacity, because we're actually using with white, we're cutting out. We're gonna go ahead and add. See, now it adds that white layer. Now we're going to take this top layer, which is black and white, which is exactly what we want, and we're going to copy it, Control C. We're not going to paste it yet. Let's go ahead and delete this layer. Bye-bye. Now we're going to click on our layer mask section right here, and we're going to paste that new layer into it. You'll see, ta-da, it just cut everything out for us. Now if we'll take and merge this layer down, let me find it on here. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay. Let's go ahead and paste that one. Now, see, like I said, okay, anchor the layer. Visible? Nope, nope, nope. There it is. Now it's a visible layer. There we go. Now we can turn this one off, and we can actually delete that one now. See, now we have our transparency. Now, what I want to do is actually put this into something else. So I've gotten this. We're going to Control C, because now that there's transparency, let's get rid of it altogether. We don't need it, because it's actually on the clipboard. If you look all the way at the very, very, very top, there's your clipboard. Right there. There's your image. Let's drag another image into here. And we want to go ahead and paste this new one. That'll work. Let's go ahead and paste the new one. Select that layer, make it a new layer. Now I want to do something fancy with this, so let's go ahead and paste it again. And you'll notice these little dots around there. That means it's a floating selection. You can do things with that. So let's go ahead and go over here. We're going to make this one pretty. And let's do like that. I don't like that. Let's go a little bit further. There we go. That one's kind of nice. Alright, now, while it's still there, let's go over here to our transform tool, perspective transform, and let's go ahead and make it a little unique. I'm going to go like this. Nope. I'm going to go the other way with it. There we go. Make this a little bit smaller. All right. Now, remember that in the very beginning when I told you that first thing I do is change this move to active layer? That's because if you don't, it's going to pick the layer that it was previously on, and it will not move. It'll move the whole base screen. I can show you the difference here. Let's go. Watch. See, watch. All right. And of course now it won't do it. Of course. All right, so let's go over here. It doesn't matter that it's not visible. Let's go ahead and overlay it like that. See, that's kind of nice. Now we're going to take this one. Let's duplicate that. And we're going to move it over here and swap it so that it looks kind of unique. I kind of like that. Now, I want this green one, the original one, to be on top of these. Simply click that actual layer and put it on top. Whatever is on top is what's going to be your uppermost image. As you'll see, I can turn that one off, turn that one off, turn it back on, or turn off the base. That's how the layering works. Now, what I want to do is go ahead and crop this a little bit. So let's go ahead and go over here to our square tool and go outside the lines. Oh, I forgot to merge everything. Let's merge everything together first. So let's go over here. We're going to press Control and M. Bring this where we can see it. Clip to bottom. Now it's all one image. Now I can crop this to where I want it. There we go. Now, if we want to get rid of everything outside that box, we're going to press Control and I, and I think I've got more than one in there, so let's do this again. There we go, like that. And then we're going to go outside the image. Control and I will invert whatever your selection is, and then we're going to delete. There we go. Now, to get rid of this transparency, because if you save this as is right now, this is going to end up looking white. Let's go ahead and crop this whole thing. So let's go to Image and Auto Crop to Selection. There we go. Now I want to go ahead and add a watermark to it. So let's go over here and we're going to type in my watermark. And you can't really see it there, can you? Let's go a little bit bigger with it. Let's go ahead and make that bold. There we go. Still can't see that though. Here's a trick. Select that specific one, copy it, Control C. You'll notice it automatically pops up there. Let's Control V, and as you'll see, it's dotted lines. Let's go over here to our paintbrush. Select the opposite color, color right over it. There we go. Now let's go ahead and make that layer a new layer. There we go. Now to make this a little more visible, go over here to our move tool. I want the black on top of the white and move it ever so slightly to around, let's go back over here, right about like that. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and save this to desktop. Whenever you save to, it automatically goes to your Gimp bin. Oh, mine's going to desktop. Good deal. All right, I'm going to name this as a PNG. PNG is portable network graphic, and it actually has the highest compression rate. That way your actual image will not be distorted whenever you go to upload it somewhere else. We're going to make sure to click your interlacing atom 7. That gives your best compression rate, and voila, it is now an actual image. And that concludes my short little tutorial on layers. If I get a chance, I'll make another tutorial that actually goes over a lot of the tools. And we're done. Bye bye for now.